Hello, I'm Matt Powell. I'm the creative director at Profero London. When it comes to inspiration, I think you've got to go out and find it. I think one thing I'm really into at the moment is just how as an industry, we're getting into creating cultural experiences, and so there's no substitute for going out and seeing those yourself. So I think you've got to go out there and find those things. I think you've got to organise time within your own office with your own guys to showcase kind of cultural stuff and actually kind of discuss it. And the way that we do that, for example, is to have one topic every single week, and we meet every Monday morning, and everybody brings in something, whether it's an artifact or a story or just a learning, and we kind of. Here we are with live news, reporting on flow heists jumping in a lake. Executive Creative Director of Dare. So where was I? Yeah, kind of. Where'd you get your inspiration from? But I get my inspiration from all sorts of places as well. Read the blogs, the things like the planners blogs and the other agency blogs. I mean, it's all good quality stuff that people are willing to share. I think writing your own blog, which forces you to find something to talk about, and actually is a good way of capturing your own thinking. Because I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on there in the subconscious, and you need to give yourself a place to kind of write that down. And I get a lot of inspiration from experience as well. I've kind of been asked this question before, and it was about listening and talking to people that have been around the block, people that have done it from different disciplines, not just your own, but people that have kind of worked hard, had long careers, and have kept on picking themselves up and in being inventive themselves. You can get a certain amount from talking to your peers, the people that have been in the industry a few years, but there's nothing like talking to people that have really kind of been there and had a really long career and have got so many kind of stories to tell. Have inspired me. I think you've got to just look at the work that's around at the moment. I was asked a question recently about that, and I reiterate that the last thing I saw which really caught my imagination was actually not a piece of advertising work, but it was this, and I always struggle with the name, I think it's the telescope thing on the South Bank, and it's really annoying I can't remember the name of it. It's called something like the telemoscope or something, but as an experience, as something which captivated people's imagination, as a kind of thing which felt as much culture and art as it was a communication piece, was just really, really fascinating. And I think it's getting clients sometimes to understand that it doesn't necessarily have to be a piece of work which is seen by 1 million people for it to be a success. It could be seen by 1,000 people live, and then another 500,000 people remotely, as in they hear about it through PR or something like that, and or they come across that story and think, I wish I was there. I think that's a great way of making people believe in brands. In relationship to kind of how you sell in inspirational things to clients, I think from where I stand is, I think where our industry was a couple of years ago was, it was a little bit hit and hope. It was kind of a little bit like, think of something cool, see if it sticks. And obviously we've matured a heck of a lot since then, and I think the trick, and I think all agencies are kind of coming to terms with this now, is making sure that you have a sufficiently strong strategic kind of understanding of a brand and its direction. And if you've got that, then it becomes so much easier to talk then about just doing something wildly creative, something cultural, something exciting, something inspirational, because it does slot in. And you've got to prove that you're a good pair of hands. There's a lot of people at the moment who can talk the talk, but there's far fewer people who can actually walk the walk, as in they have managed to sell a piece of work and convince a client to commit to him. And that takes trust, and it takes good salesmanship, and it takes good ideas, but I think more than anything it has to come from a solid foundation, which is really understanding a brand and understanding the people that you want to talk to and what makes them click, because you can't treat everybody as some big demographic thing. There's always a lovely little human insight to be found from listening to your audience, and they can help you to carve out that piece of work. And then you bring it full circle to clients and say, look, this is what your audience is telling you they want, and that becomes a very compelling argument.